Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, coming to you from our studios at the Capital Region International Airport. And I wish I knew where we were running next for our guests because they have offices all over the state. Tony Dalimonte is a associate with the Foster Swift office, and they have offices in Southfield, which I presume, Tony, you're working out of today. Is that correct?
I'm actually with you in Lansing today.
Oh my goodness. Okay. And six other offices serving Michigan. You guys are everywhere. I always want to do the Buzz Lightyear to infinity and beyond thing. All right. So listen, we always look to you for good judgment, information. We've seen headlines about the NCAA settling a major class action suit involving revenue sharing. Can you kind of walk us through what that was and what it was all about?
Absolutely. And thanks for having me on. Always good to join you. So, as I'm sure your listeners saw in the news, the NCAA finally reached a settlement in there. It was a $2.8 billion settlement. It was a case that kind of is going to change the landscape of college athletics going forward. And it was a group of athletes that sued the NCAA, basically alleging that compensation related restrictions violated antitrust law. But the long story short is that case settled and it was approved by the judge just a couple months ago. And there's a couple components here. There's a back pay component. So you've got athletes who, are going to receive money for time spent as a college athlete, but it also is going to change college athletics going forward. So now schools are going to be permitted to start sharing revenue that they receive. So tickets, broadcast rights, sort of dollars in the door that colleges start receiving, they are now going to be able to legally share that with college athletes.
Tony, do you remember? I somewhere in the back of my mind, I have the athletes at Northwestern University, kind of the first ones to lead this charge, so to speak.
There's a long sort of litigation history with the NCAA, and this is really kind of 20 years in the making, probably a little more. And it's finally come to a head where athletes are now permitted to sort of share in the profits that the schools are making from, like I said, tickets and broadcast rights. So there's kind of two buckets now. We've seen since 2021. NIL is the term that gets thrown around, name, image, and likeness. NIL became legal and allowed. But now with this lawsuit, it's really two buckets. It's revenue sharing, which is the schools can distribute a certain amount of money to its athletes, and they decide how they want to do that. And then you still have NIL out there where, the quarterback in Michigan or the quarterback in Michigan State can go sign a deal with the car dealership down the street and can appear in a commercial or things like that.
So that's where things actually stand now at this point. Is that right?
Where things stand now. So coming out of the settlement, schools are allowed to share revenue share $20.5 million, and that's going to go up by I think 4% every year. And so in practicality, what happens is Michigan State, they can share up to $20.5 million. So then the school makes the decision on what sports will be apportioned that 20.5 million. So what we're seeing is a large portion of that is going to go to football and basketball. And then, it's kind of up to the school and whether or not they permit non-revenue generating sports to participate as well. But it's interesting because, once, if Michigan tells its football folks that they've got $15 million to work with, generally it's their decision on what to do with it, whether that's transfers, recruits, current roster. That's kind of how it works now.
Hey, listen, for families out there who have gifted high school athletes and they're starting to be recruited, is there anything they should be doing?
I think that, it's starting to become the norm to have representation, whether that's a sort of NIL agent or having a lawyer in your corner. Us at Foster Swift, we do that. We've represented some high school athletes, some current college athletes. And what we're hearing from parents is, I think there's a lack of sort of knowledge with all of these rules, which is completely understandable. I have a hard time keeping track of all of it. And two, the student athlete wants to focus on football or basketball or whatever their sport is, and they don't want to be the one to go, negotiate and review the contract. So they want to focus on the sport. So I think it is a good idea to have someone in your corner to protect your brand, make sure that, the contract, you're not going to give up any rights. So it's kind of the new world we live in. Agents are coming on recruiting trips now, so it's interesting.
Hey, we got about 30 seconds. You have a sports law group having a seminar soon. How do people get involved?
Yep. So if you go to our website, Foster Swift, I think we've got a sports tab. We've got a seminar coming up on August 19th at 7 p.m. It's sort of geared towards parents and recruits and what you need to know and how to get prepared.
Good stuff. Get there. Tony Dalimonte, always good to see you, my friend.
See you as well.
Associate with Foster Swift. Southfield office is just one of the 6 all over the state.
Exactly.
You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman, and we will be back with more.